Leos, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for the week of the 7th through the 13th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this channel is about using the actual constellations in the sky known as Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, you'll want to check out the link down below because the signs are different, which means your sign might be different, and you'll want to watch this for the right sign. All right, Leo, so this week we have a lot of things shifting. We have planets shifting, 3 of them in fact. Mars going into Capricorn on Monday. Venus going into Sagittarius on Monday, and later in the week Mercury going into Scorpio. So it's really a shifting week, and right at the beginning I think we'll all notice this, and I think for you the 2 key areas here is that now Mars is going into your 6th, which means that there's good drive, there's good motivation, I think, to improve yourself. It's an excellent time for this. It can be a source of energy, it can be a source of motivation and drive, it can be a sort of momentum builder. And so whether it's your routine, your regimens, your diet, exercise, whatever it is you feel like is needed for your self-improvement, I think it's a great time for this. Should be great motivation to do that. And also too with your work, maybe putting some energy into that, your everyday work. And so on that level, seeing how you can maybe be direct, be independent in that in some way, and really take initiative. And I think as a result, you'll find that, yes, there's momentum, yes, there's things building when it comes to your work over this coming month plus with Mars in that 6th. Now, Venus going into your 5th house is a bit of enjoyment with the passionate things in life. You know, the 5th house is about playfulness, it's about fun, it's about creativity. It's also about hobbies and interests, doing things because you're passionate about them and really expressing that passion out into the world. So Venus is here helping you enjoy this, and I think you'll notice that maybe this is coming through your career, your work, and that kind of a thing, because Venus does rule that 10th, and maybe it's communicative. Maybe your mind's more creative, or you're just expressing yourself in more, I don't know, playful, lighthearted, and just generally expressive ways. And this has all been a big transformation for you. You know, Pluto's been in your 5th house helping you release attachments to what you're expressing and what you're creating. And so as you release those attachments to your creations and your self-expression, you'll find that there's immense power of your self-expression, and it happens very naturally. All right, so that's the 2 things shifting. I do want to mention, actually, Mars, who does rule that 4th house of yours, does mean that it could be a time of improving maybe a bit of the home life, maybe the health in that sense, and also too maybe improving some of your belief systems in a sense of like changing your worldview and that type of thing. All right. So also at the beginning of the week, your ruler, the sun, will be sextiling Pluto. So there's some changes happening, or at least available at the beginning of the week. And a lot of this is in regards to the practical stuff. You know, the sun's been in your 3rd house, and that was it was part of the whole new moon we had about a week or 2 ago, depending on when you're watching this. So it's just all in all a really good time for you to be focusing on the practical. In other words, how can you take things in your life and turn it into something that can actually be put into use, put into practical use? And how can you get into your practical mind, which really makes it an excellent time for reading like self-help or practical guides on how to and these kinds of matters. Maybe writing some of that yourself could certainly be possible with the 3rd house. It's both receiving information and giving information. And yeah, just all in all, getting into the more communicative side of things, maybe trading, exchanging ideas again. And this is the big focal point, and really what you'll be coming to with a high point, because on Monday of next week, we're going to have a full moon. So it's really a week of culmination and things moving forward. And I think for you, a lot of it's about the practical, the communicative, and the, again, exchanging side to life. I do want to mention that the full moon will be very close to both your 9th and your 10th house. So it could be a high point this weekend about your career, or at least a good time to do a status check about your career, and also about your adventurous side. How can you expand those horizons a bit? And yeah, and a lot of what's unfolding has been about this newfound sense of self-worth. Jupiter's been in your 2nd house, helping you really cultivate the things that your values, the things you enjoy in life. And you should have plenty of opportunities, I think, to do this, or at least you're learning, or can be learning quite a bit about these values of yours in your material life and finances and all this, with Jupiter there, maybe giving you a bit of luck. But all in all, I think just learning about it and really embodying that sense of self-worth, that self-reliance, and your natural gifts and your natural abilities, which can really help you cultivate those as well. All right, so that's the lunar cycle. I want to bring your attention here to this aspect, Neptune conjoining the South Node. It's very important collectively. It's serving as this backdrop to this week. It's going to go exact next week on the 17th, but as this backdrop, this is suggesting that there are some past things being released about relationships. Okay, so this whole week, kind of ask yourself, or in meditation, reflect on this a bit, in a sense of, are there any past unhealthy things that some past patterns that you can maybe let go of or change or transform that are imbalanced with relationships or imbalanced with your perspective on relationships? And just all in all, how can you bring more balance back to this? And I think a lot of it might have to do with the idealizations about relationships, because this is Neptune in the 7th, who's been here for a very long time, suggesting that maybe there has been some fantasies about it, or some idealizations, or putting people on pedestals, or this kind of thing, or maybe just not being active enough. Sometimes an under extreme of Neptune can be lethargy. So again, the most important thing is that whatever it is that comes up that might seem like unhealthy regarding your perspective on relationships, it's really a good time to bring some balance back to this area, to make some changes so you can have, again, healthy relationships. And I think the key to all of this is the North Node in your first house, as I've been talking about being independent, focusing on your personal needs, right? And the things that you enjoy and the things that you're passionate about and all this, because obviously relationships need us to be doing things that we enjoy, and need us to be independent and being autonomous in that sense. And so it's really suggesting the time for that. And I think as you learn more about that, it's helping balance out both the relationship sector and just all in all your life, which is the first house there. All right, so that's the backdrop. Like I said, next week that's going to go exact. This weekend, Mercury is going to be shifting into your 4th, so you could be maybe getting into the practical stuff with your home life, maybe your family, maybe learning more about your roots, maybe learning more about health. This has been a very good area for you to take seriously. You've had Saturn in the 4th house for this year. It's a good time to be establishing your roots, building some solid foundations, maybe, again, taking your health seriously. And now Mercury here can help you learn more about this. There could also be that your aspirations and future things are a bit more about home, or a bit more about the emotional side to life, which I think can be good. I think your finances and the material life could be benefiting from a bit of the working at home or working with family and that kind of a thing. And all in all, I think getting more emotionally connected in general, maybe with your communication as well. And as a result, learning more about it, and again, building those foundations with those roots. Now, this weekend, you could be feeling quite rejuvenated. Your ruler will be trining Chiron, so there's a bit of freshness about the weekend. Again, it might have to do with what you're focused on about this practical stuff, which is the sun of the 3rd, or the exchanging of ideas and whatnot. And it's all this healing you can be doing with the deeper side to things. Chiron's been entering into your 8th house. A lot of you over this next year plus, are actually much longer than that, many years, will be going through this inner healing of what past traumas, what past anxieties, what past really deep psychological things are holding you back in life, and healing them, healing those wounds. And that's what Chiron's all about. And as a result of that, obviously we feel healed, we feel refreshed, we feel rejuvenated, and this aspect is certainly a testament to that. So certainly some healing there, maybe about openness, intimacy, and all of that could be refreshing. All right, so Leo, the way to sort of simplify this whole week is that it's putting a big emphasis on these shifts. The shift is, I think, towards motivating yourself, I think, with the routine or the improvement in your work. I think enjoying a bit of expressing yourself, maybe with relationships, maybe with your career, and thinking more about the importance of your roots and building solid foundations with that, all while continuing to focus on this practical stuff. Learning, reading, writing, sharing, communicating. An excellent time for all that. It's going to be a high point of the lunar cycle this weekend, which will be the full moon, and a great time to do the status check with your sense of self-worth, your values, your finances, again, what you can be learning, how you can tap into that adventurous spirit, and continue to cultivate your career as well. All right, Leo, so have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.